Hello, everybody, and welcome to NASCAR.com and NASCAR Facebook Live. It's the NASCAR playoffs, the round of 12. Well, we're in the middle. We're in the sandwich. Talladega is the meat of the sandwich in this round right now, and it's Talladega Superspeedway, one of the most monstrous superspeedways in the history of motorsports, and we're live on NASCAR Facebook Live. I'm your host, Matthew Dillner, along behind the scenes with producer Chuck Busch, extraordinaire from the podcast, man, the Glass Case of Emotion podcast. Yeah, he's got like everything. You want a mic, you get the headphones, you got phones. You're
phones.
Monitoring the Facebook Live.
Right.
Because the fans right now, oh, and he's got an Eagles hat on. That's
wearing
really,
multiple hats.
That's not cool.
No.
That's not cool,
that
Philly.
Is not cool.
But right now, you're monitoring Facebook Live.
Right. Folks are chiming in on Facebook Live, so get your comments in there. Let us know what you want to see on the show. Give a shout out and
on this show, GarageCam. But you should also listen to his show.
Yeah, Glass Case of Emotion
podcast.
Jinx.
Ryan Blaney.
We did some of that on the show this week. Check it out on Facebook. Watch while you're on Facebook after you watch this show.
Check it out, Brad Keselowski's car. Cool look on this car. It's all white. Check it out. Oh, man. That is pretty cool. New blue trim, a different paint scheme for the Deuce this weekend. And Brad Keselowski, a four-time winner at the Talladega Superspeedway, is Brad Keselowski. The playoff guys lining up here, getting ready for technical inspection. The Cup car is going to hit the track for first practice, and we'll lead right up until the green flag of that practice on NASCAR Facebook Live. Diane says she loves NASCAR on Friday. Oh, yeah, I love NASCAR every day, but Fridays, especially for GarageCam, I love it. This is great. Get to show you all the cars, the behind the scenes, meet a few people that you may not have ever had a chance to meet, and you just never know what we're going to see on the show on GarageCam. Nancy Johnson. Is that Nancy Himes Johnson from Long Island? Says hello, guys. Denise says hello from Michigan. So tell us where you are from. We always love I had somebody from Brazil hit me up on Twitter, on my Twitter at Matthew Dillner, I believe using the hashtag GarageCam, and it's pretty neat to know there's NASCAR fans all over, not just the country, and there's NASCAR fans all over the world. We're talking about playoffs. That's right, playoffs. But there's even more to it than playoffs. There's a lot of other drivers competing for glory here at Talladega Superspeedway, including the rookies like Ty Dillon. His grandfather is Richard Childress. And if you follow my Twitter account, I put up kind of a riddle with a bunch of images. And we'll tell that story. We'll uncover that incredible story that is Talladega Superspeedway and the aura of this place and the great history of Talladega Superspeedway throughout the show. Richard Childress is a huge part of that history. Not just with Dale Earnhardt, who won 10 races at Talladega. I keep on zigzagging in front of Chuck Busch, cutting him off. Hey, that sound is awesome, and that right there is glorious. Powered by Bacon, the number 43. Let's give you a behind-the-scenes look here. Let's walk inside. Yeah, these NASCAR officials will let me in. Come on. Some good guys. Template inspection station right there. You see the templates. About to go on the cars here. Check them out. Denny Hamlin's number 11 in technical inspection. This is the template section of inspection. Of course, there's a laser platform station as well, and there is Alabama's favorite son, even though he's a North Carolina guy. They've adopted him. Dale Earnhardt Jr., the Mountain Dew scheme, and all the crew members and everybody checking out all the names on this number 88 machine. This isn't just green paint. I'd like to know how many names this is. It's got to be millions of names, but checking it out right now. A beautiful new paint scheme for the Mountain Dew Chevrolet for Dale Earnhardt Jr., a six-time winner at Talladega Superspeedway. Final ride at Talladega for Junebug. Let's get through inspection, because you know I'm not going to pass the templates. Right, guys? And through into the 37 garage area as this crew readies this Chevrolet. Zigzagging through, and you got Michael McDowell's number 95 K-Love machine. Casey Kane will be in this ride next year. Chuck Busch rolling behind. And it's bright out. It's a beautiful sunny. Oh, check it out. We got our first driver over here. Well, this is our first driver technically because Kate right here finished third in the better half dash. Look, Matt DiBenedetto signing autograph. Look at this. People actually know who. Do you know? You really know this guy?
Sure, I know who he is.
Who is he?
Matt DiBenedetto.
And you pronounce his name right. You guys Matt DiBenedetto fans?
Pardon me?
Are you big Matt D fans here?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Who's your real favorite driver?
Yeah, there you go. I mean, have you ever signed a plate before?
Oh, here you go. Oh.
Don't steal his Sharpie.
Oh.
So signing a plate here is Matt DiBenedetto.
They must know I eat a lot.
No. Sign
right
it near the spaghetti stain.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. How's that look?
Have you ever signed a plate?
Oh,
Are you gonna eat on that plate?
No, sir.
What are you gonna do with that plate?
It's gonna be on a plate hanger in my house.
That's
on the
awesome.
wall.
That is awesome.
Is that Brad?
Yeah, Brad and Matt Kenseth, Dale Jr., you, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott. I've done all this morning.
So what drivers do you not like that you're gonna maybe have sign the back of the plate?
They don't sign my plate. If I don't like them, they don't sign it.
Hey, I feel
And that
privileged.
would be Tony Stewart.
Oh,
I like Tony.
We all love
He's
Tony.
been real ugly to me. So.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh, man.
Well, speaking of ugly, hey, your PR guy is back there, Ryan Ellis. How you doing, Ryan Ellis?
Yeah, bud.
Yeah, we don't normally introduce PR people, but
That's
do you
true.
need an introduction? I mean, you're a former
I don't
racer
know.
yourself. You're still kind of a racer, you know?
Still, yeah, I ran
raised?
in August, so.
What is it like
And
to
I
do a PR
drive-
for a guy that just signs autographs all
You
day?
know, I think I might be the only PR person that's better than the driver that they actually work with. So.
That's a good point. We have more talent in our PR department for driving than our own driver. How about that?
Nice. Hey, we were talking about the history of Talladega before, and I put up kind of a riddle on Twitter. And hey, Chuck, let's put him on the spot. Can you find that picture? Can you find that picture? We're going to put him on the spot here. Okay. See if you can look at this picture and tell me what you see and if you can figure it out. You've got a fist. What else do you see?
Oh, is this some sort of riddle I'm supposed to
It's
figure
sort
out?
of a riddle, but explain what you're seeing.
Well, I'm seeing a picture of the racetrack.
Okay, Talladega.
Number 40.
Number 40.
40.
Start from
Fist
the top
bump.
left.
Okay. And which way am I going? To the right?
Yeah. Left to right. That's how you read.
Old guy, 40.
We'll just give it. We'll give it to you easy since you
House.
can't figure it out. Like the top view, it's at Talladega. Did you know that this place is built on Native American burial grounds? That's a legend.
Oh, no, I didn't.
No.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there's so much to the legend here. Is this place kind of have an aura to its own?
Wow. Talladega. I mean, there's a song about this place.
Yeah.
It's
They're a church, man.
Talladega. Yeah, I was actually.
Are you gonna sing it? Oh no.
I was actually. Well, I don't really know the whole song. I said that part walking into the racetrack. I was like Talladega, and my wife loves country music, so then she filled in and started singing the rest of it because I didn't know.
Taylor, can she sing? You sing Talladega?
No, I don't know the song very
Oh, you
well.
don't? So he doesn't know the song either.
I only knew the one part, and then she started to fill in a few of the words of the rest. Yeah, she filled in right after me for a little bit.
So we shouldn't really have him sing, should we?
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
have it
Okay.
sing.
Well, come on.
I don't-
Okay, it's Talladega. I was raised up.
Is that it?
I think
Is
so,
that what you
right?
said after? Oh, okay. That's
That's the only part I know.
here. We'll recite it like we did earlier. I'll do my part and she
Okay.
does hers.
All right.
I was walking in the racetrack. I was like Talladega. Then
Was raised up.
Yes, awesome. Somebody sang on NASCAR. Hey, say hi to all the fans on NASCAR Facebook Live tuning in right now.
hi fans on NASCAR Facebook Live. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry we got Dillner here.
Yeah,
But
I know
that's
it's
all
tough. You get me.
good. He does okay.
Yeah, okay. All right, we'll see you, buddy. Matt DiBenedetto having some fun. You gotta love being able to put him on the spot to sing. Why not? I mean, hey, you wanna sign autographs? You want popularity? You know, there's that most popular driver contest going on right now that you can vote on NASCAR.com. Be willing to sing for it, baby. Racing Electronics, the new logo there on the back of the number 38 car, and there is Matt DiBenedetto's machine. We'll lighten it up so you can see it in there. A lot of comments rolling in. Oh, this is awesome. Tim Samuels, howdy from New York, my home state. Tigra, says hello to Matt and the crew. We miss you. Christopher from Sweden. Oh, says hi. Brian says, bacon. Oh, yeah, baby. I hope you're eating bacon and watching this show. Carmelo from Italy. Italy says hello. That's awesome. Daryl says, find Michael Waltrip to put tacos inside Denny's car and tell him to run. I don't know what that means, but I don't do the grid walk. We don't throw tacos in people's cars. That's not going to happen. But Michael Waltrip has the most laps completed at this racetrack. Over 10,000 laps. I believe it's like 10,181 laps completed. So there's a Michael Waltrip stat for you. All right? How you like that? Landon Castle over here, driver of the Loves machine, and Alba with Chevrolet. And what a great woman she is, and Alba. And great to hear that Alba and her family are safe. Her family is from Puerto Rico, and she is one of the head engineers, head of the Chevrolet Motorsports department, and a great human being. We love her so much, and we're so thankful to hear that her family in Puerto Rico are okay, and all the devastation there. Our thoughts and prayers are with them, the Vegas community. So much tragedy going on right now, but we all band together. That's what America does. The number 14 of Clint Boyer getting pushed in. All right, so this place has a legend and aura all to its own. Built, the legend says, on Indian burial grounds. 2.66-mile super speedway that has struck fear into the hearts of race car drivers since 1969. Mark Thompson about to try to go out there and tame this big, giant, massive oval. So much so that the first race here, drivers, well, they were a little apprehensive about racing around this big, giant super speedway. So much so that a group of 3 drivers comprised of Bobby Allison, Leroy Yarbrough, and a guy that everybody knows, Richard Petty, came to Bill France the day before the race and expressed their concerns that they maybe did not want to compete in the first race in 1969 at Talladega. And the story just blows up from there. Bill France looked over at Leroy Yarbrough and said, if you're scared, then don't run. Leroy Yarbrough, as legend says, punched Bill France, Big Bill France, to the ground. Now, folks, that's the equivalent of Tom Brady punching Roger Goodell in the face, knocking him down. You want to talk about a legendary story in our sport and an incredible time in our sport where there was so much unknown. And what would happen? Could these cars compete at such high speeds and the high banks? And was it safe? And the drivers detested it. Well, the next morning, 40 drivers did not compete. They went home and didn't compete at Talladega. And they had to get drivers in because of that strike. And the story goes on from there. We'll tell you about it later. But right now, awesome new paint scheme to show you right here. We love showing you the new paint schemes on NASCAR.com. And check it out. On Facebook, you get to see it too. We got a bunch of them this weekend, including this number 6 car of Tennessee's Trevor Bayne. And, of course, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. My Aunt Kathy, fighting breast cancer right now herself. Heather Brunhutzel, 2 people very close to me in my life. Very good friends and family. And, of course, driven for a cure, the RFR, Roush Fenway Racing Initiative, on this number 6. It's always great to see our community band together behind something, because once they put their mind to it in this sport, they get it done. Daniel Suarez wrapping up a pretty impressive rookie season in the Camping World colors this weekend in the number 19. Eric Jones, E. Jones, the number 77. Joey Logano walking up right here, and this is a place that, man, you got to love coming here. You and Brad had like 4 in a row there. You and Tab seem to have a darn dance going when it comes to a rhythm around super speedways.
It's either good or bad, is what we figured out. Like, you either win or we crash.
Well, that's better than running like 22nd, right?
I agree. Like, for me, like, what does second do? Nothing. So it's all about the win. You just go for the checkered flags.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, football players study film, and I know spotters do, crews do, crew chiefs do, drivers do as well. How much studying is there that really goes into the technique of being a good plate driver?
Probably here more than most, because you have to understand your competition more than normal. Other tracks, you kind of study what you did and how you can be better and things like that. Here you're studying what other drivers' tendencies are and what they do, and you're trying to keep all that in the back of your mind while you're out there, so it makes it kind of fun. You remember the other races, past races when you were here, and just kind of when you start watching things, at least for me, everyone remembers things differently, but at least for me, when I watch a race, I start to remember what happened last time, unless I just forget. There's so many other races in between, you forget, so it just kind of triggers some memory things for me.
Well, this just triggered a memory for me. We're talking about history on the show, and this place here is such a monster that in '69, the drivers, 40 of them left and didn't want to run it. There's a lot of fear involved. How can you put that in perspective so many years later of this place, the first time you see it, if you'd never been on the track before, it would be intimidating.
It's not intimidating by yourself. It's intimidating while everyone's out there together. And, for us, it's not as bad, but, man, you think in '69, I mean, those guys are crazy. Yeah, it was dangerous, very dangerous then, and I don't blame them for doing what they did. But now it's we've made so many safety upgrades. It allows us to be aggressive on the racetrack and put on a good race for everyone.
Oh, we appreciate it. Thank you for joining us always on GarageCam. Joey Logano signing some autographs in the garage here on NASCAR.com and NASCAR Facebook Live today. So all you Joey Logano fans, there you go. The number 41 of Kurt Busch, the monster claw on the hood of that car. That just looks mean, man. You got to admit, that is cool there in that Ford. Started out the season so well, this number 41 ride, and then after that it was the Toyota dominance. And we'll definitely talk about that here in a second. But I just saw that, well, Kurt Busch is walking by, and here comes Kurt Busch and his PR guy, Joe Crowley, walking by, and Jonathan Merriman's here. So, hey, what's up, Merriman? Here, we'll give you the mic here since you're used to that.
I appreciate that.
Our lead reporter on NASCAR.com. First off, let's just get the business out of the way. We got something really cool coming up on NASCAR.com this weekend that I think fans should really pay attention to.
Well, we have a one-on-one with Junior. It just happens to be Ricky Stenhouse Jr., the guy who can come in here and play upset for the guys trying to make that round of 8. He's won the past 2 restrictor plate races we've had this season. He's got the hot hand coming in here. A different car than he won those 2 races in, though.
Yep.
But, the Fords are really, really, really good on the plate tracks, have been for the past couple of years. Penske's been really good, but Ricky Stenhouse Jr. for the past 2 years. Something about that Ford nose seems like it cuts through the air just a little bit better. This one won the Daytona 500, yeah, but so that'll be up tomorrow evening on NASCAR.com. It'll be up overnight, of course. It'll be there before the race as well, and we'll have an article and a gallery and everything that's good that goes with that.
Now, we were talking about the history of this track, okay, and how crazy it must have been in 1969 to come to this monster and just not know what you got and how intimidating it must have been. Then we were talking about the story where Leroy Yarbrough actually punched out Big Bill France. Like, that's the equivalent of, like, Brady punching out Goodell. Like, what a crazy time it must have been back then.
Oh, absolutely a crazy time, because you have to remember, back in the 60s, they weren't running on these tires that are 12 inches wide. They were running on, 6-inch radials and doing 160, 170 miles an hour back then. So, I mean, it was just, you didn't know what you were going to get. Clearly, you didn't know what you were going to get in the garage if fights were happening between, the guy who runs the sport and the drivers, but you didn't know what you were going to get. But, the guy who owns this 31 car, he decided he was going to get in behind the wheel
when those
of
40
one of
drivers
those
left.
Yeah, one of those race cars.
Richard Childress.
He went out there and got him some money, and you know what he did with that, Dillner.
That's right. Richard Childress actually ran that race. A bunch of strike drivers ran it. Richard Brickhouse won the race, but Childress won enough money in that race, Merriman, this is what we're talking about here. It's a cool story, to actually buy the land and welcome North Carolina, that his shop eventually went on. And that shop, of course, the 3 cars over there, Dale Earnhardt made so famous, and this racetrack was Dale Earnhardt's playground, really, besides Daytona.
Well, when the legend has it that you can see the air, you should be good at a racetrack. And Dale Earnhardt Jr., of course, we all know that legend. They said he could see the air, and certainly
well, Dale Earnhardt could really
had
see
more
the
than
air.
a few wins here.
Yeah, Dale Earnhardt with 10 wins here and Junior with 6. I mean, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and a lot of that stemmed from that day. You know, you could trace back that day in '69 where the 40 drivers left as such a polarizing moment in the sport, really. But the dominoes just keep on falling, and it leads to the great story of the 3-car with Richard Childress and Dale Earnhardt's amazing storied career. And now this weekend, Dale Earnhardt Jr. making his final start.
That's a small microcosm that created Dale Jr. perhaps. So if it wasn't for that one moment, we might not be pulling for an 88 car this weekend on the racetrack. So there you have it.
There you go. That's quite a story. I love some of the stories that you necessarily don't hear all the time in our sport, and that's one of them right there, that there's a lot of race fans that don't know that amazing story, and there's so many of them in our great sport. The Sunny D car right here, raced with Ricky last week. That was pretty fun. They do a lot of things with Sunny D in this program, and this 17, I'll tell you what, they have these Roush Fenway Fords really trimmed out well. If you look at some of these stock cars, and I'm just going to teach the fans something here. Merriman, I know you and I have talked about this, but at a lot of tracks, you see some of the fenders and things kind of flared out, and they really push the envelope on these cars, especially on the right side of them. And on these super speedways, a lot of times, you'll see the front fenders kind of flared out like that as much as they can within the templates. But then these things are trimmed out almost as flat as possible on the side of these cars. And super speedways, man, there's so much that goes into the aerodynamics.
Oh, absolutely. And I think the biggest part that we don't see is underneath the cars.
Yes.
So, you know, these teams are doing everything they can to make the cars slick underneath. I had the chance last year. I won't name the name of the shop, but I toured a shop with one of the major teams, and they took me behind the scenes of where they were painting the bottom of the chassis and buffing the bottom of the chassis and smoothing out every little dimple on the bottom of these cars on a rig that essentially took the roll cage and turned it over so they can pay so much attention to the bottom of these cars. So it's not just what you see. There's obviously a lot under the hood. There's a lot going on with the suspension and everything else, but they do a lot to make these cars as slick on the bottom as they can so they can suck down on that racetrack.
Well, this place not known as much like as Daytona as a handling track. So shocks and springs and things like that, but aren't as much of a play. But aerodynamics here, when you get 3 wide at Talladega, this big wide super speedway, aerodynamics are such a key. And it's not just how this car goes through the air, it's how it works around the other race cars, because the other race cars are disturbing the air all over the place. Back out into the sunshine here. We've got the playoffs right now. The Talladega's the meat in the playoffs, man. It's like a big old roast beef sandwich right here. And Talladega's that big lop of beef right in the middle. And you got some lettuce here to the left and tomatoes to the right, and you just don't know what's going to happen, man. It's Talladega, and Matt Kenseth right here definitely could use a good finish here, a strong finish. There's so many people that are going to just try to survive this darn thing.
Well, that's Kenseth's whole attitude right now. He's got a lot of questions in the media center early today about next year's plans, and he joked about driving a school bus, which is ironically the same color of his race car. But he wants to focus on this weekend, wants to focus on this year before he puts any distractions out there about what he's doing in 2018. Certainly Matt Kenseth has a few plate race wins. I think he's got 2 Daytona 500s. Actually, I know he's got 2 Daytona 500 wins. So Matt Kenseth could come in here and win, and he needs a win. We know he needs a win before next season. The future of his career is up in the air for all we know it. So, you know, this guy could come in here, get a win here, and it could turn some things around for him and that 20 team who's, you know, it's a Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota. It's going to be fast the rest of the year.
Yeah, Jamie McMurray right here putting himself in a pretty good position in the 8th spot right now. A 2-time winner at the Talladega Superspeedway right here is Jamie McMurray, and this is a place where he made his first start back in 2002. That had to have been a daunting task as well. So, but 2002, a first-time start for Jamie McMurray here as the crew readies this number 1. And Jimmy Johnson, the number 48 car right here. And Jimmy Johnson could get it done at this racetrack too. But this is a place where the mental mindset is incredible, and the strategy involved too. Strategy starts here in practice. This isn't a place, Merriman, where we're going to see every lap of every practice and people just getting it in this garage area right now. We're going to see packs, and then we're going to see these cars maybe sitting on jack stands for a while. Teams may not choose to use all of their practice time here in fear of maybe wrecking one of these cars in a pack, because the racing at Talladega is absolutely wild and crazy. The Toyota camp right here, the number 18 of Kyle Busch. Toyotas have been just unbelievable. If you look at the start of the season, the Toyotas, well, they weren't as good. Chevrolet with Kyle Larson and a few other guys, and Harvick really kicked off the season, and the Ford camp, and Toyota, actually Chevrolet only won twice in the first 10 races. But then after that, the next 17 races were unbelievable for Toyota. 10 wins in the last 13 for the Toyota camp. Merriman, that's just absolute pure dominance.
See 2015. Those Toyotas did the exact same thing. Obviously, Martin Truex Jr. has been fast all year long, but speaking of the Joe Gibbs Racing Toyotas, if you look back at 2015, the similarities are remarkable about starting off slow and then they really caught fire. And so it kind of has a 2015 feeling for me. I really think that that the Joe Gibbs Racing camp's really going to be hard to beat through these next 2 rounds.
Yeah, the Chevrolet camp seems to be making ground, and of course expected that new Camaro body next year to definitely help out this driver with 6 career second-place finishes. Almost got that win at Dover. Chase Elliott knocking on that door of victory, and has been one of the strongest Chevrolets. 17 top 10 finishes this year, so an amazing statistic for this young Dawsonville, Georgia driver. And Kevin Harvick, man, they were so close last week. Merriman at Charlotte, North Carolina, winning 2 of those stages, but just couldn't make it happen at the end.
Well, if you look at the 4 car and the 24 car, something that sticks out to me is the number 2. This guy has a lot of second place finishes this year. You look back at Kevin Harvick a few years ago, he was racking up top 5s, top 3s. I mean, that's what you have to do in order to
that could be a championship recipe.
Mature, and number 2, get yourself in contention to win a title, because you don't have to have a win to move on to the next round. All you have to do is rack up enough points to move on, and if you're in it at Homestead, that's when you got to go out and win.
Kyle Larson, an average finish of 19.9 at Talladega. Not the greatest numbers, but it's kind of maybe a survival race for this California driver. And, of course, the man that's been dominant, seems like everywhere we've gone, is the Mayetta, New Jersey native right here, the number 78 of Martin Truex Jr. 25 races at Talladega, 0 wins, 11 DNFs. But this season has been pure dominance. 1,977 laps led, looking to become, I believe, the 11th driver to lead 2,000 laps. Pretty good in one season. That's a pretty impressive statistic. Martin Truex Jr., though, this Toyota has been strong, and you see the nuance of that front nose right there, that little bend, that little curve. A lot of people have been talking about advantages of Toyotas, but next year the Camaro, the front ends kind of have similar nuances aerodynamically.
Well, and one thing that sticks out to me to this car is that bright orange color. This is a 2.66 mile oval.
You'll be able to see this thing.
You're on the spotter stand. This thing's going to look like a raisin going around the racetrack.
That spotter stand is way up there. Check it out right here. It's way up there. Those spotters have a hard job here at Talladega Superspeedway, all the way up there. And practice is about to roll out right now. Actually, it is rolling out. We're getting ready to say goodbye on NASCAR.com GarageCam. Thanks for joining us here. Whether you are a fan of our sport, or you just love watching race cars go fast, tune in every week on NASCAR.com and NASCAR Facebook Live. I'm your host, Matthew Dillner. For Jonathan Merriman joining us, love it, baby. It's NASCAR playoff time at Talladega. And until next time, we'll see you at the races.